Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Next little update in this thing right here. If you haven't watched the videos where I unbox it, it's actually a very popular video already. But this is the VFC KAC or Knights Armament KS1. It's their latest AR-based model, has a new nozzle inside it. It's completely different and just some different upgrades. But I thought I'd give you guys kind of an update on this right now. In the last video, I unboxed it, did a kind of run through of what I was going to do to it, put some of the upgrades and attachments on here that I'm running now, and kind of give it initial thoughts. Since I've got it, I really like this thing, I have to say. The recoil on it's really good. The snap on this, I haven't fully sorted out yet, but it sounds a lot better. I haven't done anything to it. I haven't put any grease in it. In fact, well, that's what we're going to do later in this video. But I thought I would give a quick update of this, and then I've actually 3D printed a part for this that I'm quite excited to show you guys. You may have an idea of it here, because I think that I love this thing. It looks very cool. It is a very annoying color. I would say this is not your SIG FDE tan color. It's more of a khaki is what I would describe it as. And so when I've got this, it's trying to find things that are going to match it in terms of make it look like the Royal Marines kind of contracted model is very, very difficult. Obviously this Reptilia mount is actually not too bad. It's fairly close to it in what it's like. Obviously even their FDE mags are just a completely different shade. They're very, very different. Oh, switched over there to a different camera, so I don't know why that happened, but apparently everyone wants to see me from that angle now. Yeah, it's a very, very different shade, so trying to match things for it has been really annoying. I actually have already been dumb and got, very excited one night, and I've actually ordered a real Acro in FDE, so I think this is fairly close to what it's going to look like, but this is the one from Evolution Gear. It works, it's fine. It's just, I kind of want a real one. And I was thinking okay, if I don't like it, I can resell it or I can put it onto other replicas. So I've ordered a real one of these, which hopefully will come in the next week or two. I've ordered a real Reptilia mount, even though, again, I don't think I necessarily need it. This Vortex optic, I'm actually sticking with for now. It's actually grown on me a bit. When I first was playing with it, you can put the illumination on. So I'll put it on to 12. Where is the illumination on this thing? I can put it up to 12, which is the brightest. Yeah, and I said in the last video, but you can kind of see, it's really hard to show you this, guys, so I'm really sorry. Yeah, it's hardly any illumination, especially compared to my SIG Tango MSR6 kind of one. So I was I don't really like it. I kind of want something else. It looks like it's got some distortion in the red. What I didn't think about doing, which was really dumb, is when I actually zoom it in fully, the illumination is way better. So it's a solid red. Again, I'll try and show you, but I don't think that's going to come through. The illumination is way better. Oh, there you go. You can see it there for a second, split second. The illumination is way better. And the other thing that it is those little distortion things that are around it are actually parts of the reticle. So it has all the different numbers and little dots around it are all illuminated as well. So that was what it was when I was looking at it. Now, I don't think this sight being a 1 to 10 is very good as being a red dot / LPVO. i.e. when I've got the illumination on and I just kind of try and use it like a red dot, I can see the reticle, but I can't necessarily see it that illuminated. It's not that bright. If I was using this indoors, I would not want to use it. Hence, using this Acro, I think that really is necessary if you're going to use a Vortex Razor HD kind of style sight, or a repro one that I've got, because obviously this isn't a real one, but it does feel very close to that, I think, and it is expensive. So yeah, that's just something that I've kind of learned from just playing around with it. As I said, the recoil is really, really good on it. I had a couple of questions afterwards about movement in the body. There is zero movement between the upper and the lower, nothing. There is no wobble to it at all. I've done my Velcro trick in here where I took the soft side of the Velcro, the little loops part, and just ran a strip along the top of the inside of this CTR stock. This thing is now super solid, is not rattling, It's not moving. So when I pick this thing up now, it just feels really, really good in the hand. And I'm really, really excited to use it. It's just been something that I've kind of been planning on building for a while. I like this grip for right now. I'm going to keep it that way. If you saw the previous video, I've got like adapter plates that I could switch this out for, with the back with like a little hook curve on it and with like a little finger groove on the front. But for right now, I'm going to leave it as it is. As I said, I'm changing this Acro. I'm changing this Reptilia mount. I actually have another one of these coming, like the Well Pro version, to do a comparison on. So I'll probably just drop those onto that. In terms of the scope, I'm not 100% sold on it yet. So I keep having people who are sending me like this option, that option. Someone said you should get the SIG version for it. It's a better color match. I was like, I think I've got one that's closer to that, and it doesn't seem much better, to be honest. I also feel like it's a bit betraying an AR when you're putting like a SIG, because it's not an MCX base kind of on there. So I'm going to, at the moment, stick with this, but there have been some other like real steel sights I've been looking at to put on here. Obviously, the actual one you can't get, the one from Vortex that they've made for that contract. This Reptilia like mount on the side's pretty good. I'm leaving this free right now for attachments because it wasn't really part of the contract in there. If I start seeing Royal Marines using them in a certain way, i.e. with like a PEC unit on with different attachments, that is something that I might end up doing. But the big one actually, which I'm really missing from this, which I think is like pretty much when you see one of these, you're like, oh, okay, that looks like a KS1. When you see it with the actual Knights Armament suppressor that's built for it on there, that's when you know it is. And I have one ordered. I actually have two ordered. I have an Angry Gun one that's been around for a while ordered, hopefully coming fairly soon. And I've actually got one that VFC make as well ordered. Again, hasn't been shipped, so hopefully that comes fairly soon. But I was getting really annoyed at basically just holding this and looking at it and, you know, loving it, but not kind of fully loving it. So I was like, hold on a second, I have a 3D printer and I have an Airsoft channel and I like to do 3D printing and kind of show you guys what some of this stuff looks like. So I actually searched like KAC QDC MCQ mock suppressor. And I'm going to show you this creator right now. He's called LinoCAD. So I'll show you his page is right here. LinoCAD, and you can see that's the suppressor that you normally see, except normally you will see it with the heat shroud on the outside of it, which makes it look more like this. So that's what it normally looks like. Obviously, he's displaying it on one that's not actually like a KAC. It's got a Geisley rail on it. It's not a Knights Armament. It's not a KS1. But this is the suppressor that I want, and this is what I wanted to get. So you can see here it's €4.36, about $5-6. So I was like, right, I'm going to buy that and I'm going to print it. And I'll put a link to that below so you guys can actually, you know, go and print it yourself. And the first print that I did came out great. The only issue that I had was coloring. Now I have this like brown color. This is eSun PLA Plus, and it works great. Like it actually, if you look at the parts that this thing comes apart with, it basically prints in 4 different parts. He actually has some different options, so you can print with or without like the space for a tracer unit. But it's got like a base here, which is just a 14mm counterclockwise base to go on straight onto the barrel, the outer barrel. That's kind of like the lug piece at the bottom. This is the top of the actual like Knights Armament suppressor. He's done a really good job, this guy. So for $5, I was like, this is amazing. I'll do some of these in the giveaway live streams, but it's got the actual Knights Armament trades on there. So you can see that there. Obviously, it's going to depend on what material you print this in. This is quite a shiny, fast printing, solid material, eSun PLA Plus. It then also comes with the heat shroud on the outside, and it comes with this piece, which is like almost like the locking ring. So this goes on here, this slides in. You need to just make sure this is aligned. If I can get that in, let me just make sure that's lined up. That's lined up, and then you're basically putting this piece in here, and that's holding that in place. And so you kind of have that interior piece with the heat shroud on it. However, if you look at the coloring, like I basically got it and I was like, oh my God, this is awful. So it just was not, I was like, oh, it's like a desert tan kind of color. This shows you, this is much more of your like tan. This is like this khaki green. They call it FDE. I don't think it is FDE. So I couldn't put it on there, or I did put it on there. It didn't look good. So I actually got out the spray paint. I got this stuff, which actually worked really well. Like if you look at now, compare that to this. Just did a spray paint job. I didn't sand it. I was just kind of like testing it out, but you can see the difference. This one is Rust-Oleum, and it is their, what color? It doesn't even say the coloring on here. Whatever this color is, like that kind of color. I don't actually know which one it is. Sorry guys, that's really annoying that I can't tell you what it is. Oh, khaki. It is their khaki color. So Rust-Oleum khaki, I think that works pretty well. Obviously that's going to like wear off and rub off, but that is an option. Like you could print it in black, you could print it in whatever and get that Rust-Oleum color. I will obviously change this out when the real thing or the real replica comes. But this is the flash hider. When that comes, I can just ratchet it directly onto there. And that's the dream. That's what I want to be doing. I don't want to be having to take this off. But I also found another different version of a PLA. I'll put a link to this one down below. But this is a different version of a PLA that is just a bit tighter. It's a little bit longer printing. And the color of this, I think, is probably a little bit closer than this one. And so I'll tell you which this one is. I'll just put a link to it below, but it's another one you can get from Amazon. I think it's about $20 for a roll. Obviously, you're paying $6 for the file. But what's great as well with this file is it will take any of your smaller Ace Tech Brighter modules and you can just put it straight in. So I literally, that fits perfectly. I can put that in there. I can attach this on here. That is super snug. I could just run it like this if I want to. I'm gonna actually put this heat shroud on first, but I could just run it like that way if I wanted to. I think it looks fine. I don't really like it as much. I think it looks far cooler with the heat shroud on it. Just put this in the right way. I need to actually file this down a little bit because this one's a lot tighter. Align this up so that's kind of holding itself in the middle there. And then I'm just going to take my holding piece, flick that in there. That's going to hold that there. And then I can just thread this on. And it was super easy to thread on. It's a very good quality print from this guy. Like I said, his name's LinoCAD. I haven't had any contact with him, haven't seen any of his other prints. But I think if you're getting one of these and you're waiting for an actual like tracer unit, or sorry, a suppressor to put a tracer unit into it, this really is a great option. So big shout out to that guy. And definitely message me if you want to kind of collaborate on anything in the future, because he's got some really good stuff. Again, Heat Shroud's got some branding from Lights on there. Again, I think you could go a lot more expensive in terms of like the filament you go for, get a lot closer like coloring, and it's just very solid. Like it's on there really nicely. It's put a tracer unit in there. It just makes this for me look so much cooler than it does normally. It's obviously a very long replica. Like this thing is not, it's not short at all, but it's just a very, 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 very cool gun when it's got that on it. And that's what I would recognize it as. Like if someone told me, oh, like draw a picture of a KS1, this is exactly what it would be. And so that's kind of this upgrade that I found, guys. So what I'm going to do now quickly is just take it apart. I'm just going to quickly show you the bolt and the nozzle. And then the only other thing we're going to do is just maybe put a bit of grease on the spring. It's actually kind of resolved itself, as I said, but it's something that I've been told I need to do. I'm also running the Agilite sling on here, and I really like this. I really, really like it. Another video on that as well on the channel if you guys want to check that out. But it fits it really well. I think you can get it in FDE, sorry, you can get it in tan if you want, which might look better, but I actually think that green kind of looks very cool with it. I'm going to leave that on for now. Yeah, I might leave that on. Paint, I've had a couple of like scuffs on it. I've like kind of brushed it against stuff pretty hard, so it's not like it's like super easy to scuff, but I think it is going to chip and it is going to wear for sure. Let's get this pin out. It's the first time me opening it up, so I'm not gonna fully open it. Let's just leave it like this for now. Okay, so here's the bolt that everyone's talking about. A lot of grease on the bolt as it's come out. Here is the nozzle, which has this one piece. So there is no longer that like nozzle, kind of like nozzle end return spring there. And apparently the efficiency on this is a lot better. It's got this piece as well, which I'm completely unsure about what that is. This is where I need like an actual channel that knows what they're talking about. But it's got this piece here, which does something, but I don't know what that is. So, but it's just a very solid bolt. It looks like it's got like the threading there. So if you wanted to just put in a weight or make it heavier, give it more recoil, you could. But to be honest, I would say this thing's got a lot of recoil out the box. It feels super snappy. I love the VFC triggers. I love the VFC triggers generally, like my APFG ones I really like. The buffer and the spring I can get out fairly easily. That's the buffer weight there. It's got a reciprocating weight in it. And then this is apparently, it's actually got a lot of grease on it. I'll put a little bit more grease on there. But apparently that's kind of the thing that was causing that twang, if you've watched that opening video of what it was. So I'm going to quickly just I'll put the, what do you call it? The grease on there, and then I'll be back in 1 second. Okay, so I'm just going to get this kind of all-purpose synthetic grease, put a bit of it on here, put it on the ends, and then we'll just kind of give this a little bit of a rub. Not the most technical way to do it, but this probably hopefully will just lubricate it a little bit, get it to rub a bit easier on the outside of that buffer tube or the inside of that buffer tube. I'm going to put that in. Got a lot of grease on my hand already, so I'll just do that. Make sure you don't close the make sure you don't do the old close the upper and the lower without the bolt in there, because I've done that a few times, and then you're having to get the buffer and the buffer spring back out of the upper into the buffer tube. Basically just shoots straight into the upper, so make sure you don't do that. It's annoying how many times I've like stupidly done that. Okay, so I'll close that up. Let's have a little, I think it's made a difference. Like there may have been a slight twang there before and there's just nothing. It sounds great. Okay, and then what I'm going to quickly do as well, I think, is actually just give you guys a little finisher of me firing it. I haven't actually charged the tracer unit in there, so I don't think we're going to have any tracer rounds coming out. But what I can do is grab some BBs and just dump a couple of rounds for you guys just to finish off the video so that you're happy. Otherwise, you've watched this whole thing and you're like, this has been great. I've seen nothing about the actual replica doing anything. So they've given me the VFC adapter for gas blowbacks. I'll put that in there. Get rid of this. Close that up. And what we can do is find my glasses, which I've now lost. Don't worry, I'll use my other ones. I was just using them, so I might have them in the other room, unfortunately, but this will be fine. So we'll put these on, and then I'll show you guys how this thing's currently performing. So you can hear it just really, really has this like snap and kick to it. And that's it, empty the mag. It's loud, it kicks, it looks damn cool. I think you'll agree. Release the bolt there. I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan. Anyway, guys, so that's my little update right now on the VFC KAC-KS1. If you're thinking about getting one, I would definitely say so far I would get one for sure. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to know anything else specific about this, or you want me to do another video just like, you know, answering any questions or whatever it is that you have. Put them down below and I'll try and get to them as soon as I can if I don't respond to the comment, which I do all the time. But have a great day wherever you are, and I will see you very soon. Goodbye.